There is a 95% chance that Frenkie de Jong is going to be a Manchester United player this summer, and that's according to reports in Spain. So is there a substance behind these transfer rumors, and is he going to be a win or a flop for Manchester United? Personally, I have identified 3 defensive midfielders that Manchester United should definitely get this summer. And those are Ryan Gravenberch from Ajax, Ismail Ben-Nasser from AC Milan, and Frenkie de Jong from Barcelona. And the main reason why I picked these 3 midfielders as ideal options for Manchester United is that despite their defensive ability and their passing ability, what I'm more interested in is their ability to resist the press. Being press resistant means how likely is a player to keep the ball under intense pressure from the opposition. And this is why players like Frenkie de Jong can be extremely valuable for Manchester United, because as teams now in the Premier League and around Europe have evolved to become high pressing teams that try to win the ball back as high up the pitch as possible, other teams have evolved in the opposite direction, which is how can we keep the ball for as long as possible despite being under relentless pressure from the opposition. And this is why players like Gravenberch and Frenkie de Jong, due to their dribbling ability and their composure on the ball, they can actually help you keep the ball much longer under pressure, hence help you build up attacks and counter much more efficiently than we currently do. If you watch Manchester United right now, our main issue is not really winning the ball. That's team effort, you know? Our main problem is that once we have the ball, within 3 or 4 passes, we lose it because Matic, Fred, McTominay, and Pogba, they are not press resistant. You put them under pressure, that's it, they lose the ball because they are not as composed, they are not as technically at ease as players like Gravenberch, Ismail Ben-Nasser, and Frenkie de Jong. Okay, so now we have established that he is a brilliant player. Now, how do we get him? Well, Barcelona are willing to sell him because he's their most sellable asset. Plus, with the emergence of Pedri and Gavi, 2 La Masia graduates who can actually take over his role at Barcelona, they are much more willing to sell than they used to be a year ago. Barcelona are also in desperate need of cash injections, so Manchester United has the upper hand when it comes to negotiations. I believe that a fee of around 50 to 60 million pounds could be negotiated. Plus, they are also interested in one of our players, Alex Telles, who could be added in the equation in order to sweeten the deal. And of course, needless to say that he will definitely cherish the prospect of working with Erik Ten Hag again at Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world, competing in the Premier League, the most competitive league in the world. So of course, it's an attractive proposition for Frenkie de Jong as well. I can already hear you saying, well, Mr. Everything Football, isn't this transfer contrary to the transfer policy that Manchester United is currently establishing? Well, I would say not necessarily. And the reason for that is that I believe that a lot of those star players that we got 8, 9, 10 years ago were not really bad players. It's just that they were not the right players for the club. Take Angel Di Maria, for example, and see the impact that he's had at Real Madrid and then at Paris Saint-Germain. The only year where he was useless was his year at Manchester United because it was not the right fit. I am I'm convinced that Angel Di Maria was not a Louis van Gaal transfer. It was an Ed Woodward transfer. Louis van Gaal probably did not want him. He didn't have any plan to use him. He did not know where to use him, in what capacity, as a central midfielder, right winger, left winger. He was in and out of the squad. No wonder he got unsettled, right? But that's not going to happen with Frenkie de Jong. If Erik Ten Hag goes to the board and says, I want Frenkie de Jong, listen, midfield is such a sensible position, such a sensitive position. I don't want to take any risks. I want my guy. I want a guy who knows me very well, who I know very well, who knows what to expect from me, who knows to play the way I play, who I know inside out. And that guy is Frenkie de Jong. Get me Frenkie de Jong. Well, you would be foolish not to get him Frenkie de Jong because he clearly has a plan on how to use Frenkie de Jong in the current Manchester United setup. And so I think that if everybody, be it Barcelona, Frenkie de Jong, Manchester United, Erik Ten Hag, all agree on a transfer and everybody is satisfied, especially Frenkie de Jong, then I don't see how this would not work out. He's a player who adds qualities that we do not have, and Erik Ten Hag clearly fancies him and clearly respects him, and the respect is mutual, of course. So this would be different than the Alexis Sanchez or Angel Di Maria or Radamel Falcao transfers, because this is a player that comes in to play a certain role within the banner of this new style of football that we're going to be playing under Erik Ten Hag. And of course, when you have players like Frenkie de Jong and Christopher Nkunku also, who's not going to be cheap, transfer fee is going to be around £60 million. His wages will be over £200,000 a week. So these players are not cheap, and it's because they ooze quality. And so when players like this become available, you'd be foolish not to consider them, because I understand that at Manchester United right now, we need to find different types of players, but it doesn't mean that we need to discard and we need to ignore quality players when they become available as well. Just as long as they fit with what we are trying to do, and as long as they have been green lighted by the manager and by the way that they want to play, and that they have a clear role for them to play in the team for the next few years. And I feel that Frenkie de Jong would not come to Manchester United unless that has been established. And Erik Ten Hag seems to be the real deal, seems to be someone who really knows what he wants, and he really wants to win. And so I think that if he asks for Frenkie de Jong, there must be definite reason for that. Cheers.